The last thing that I'm excited to go over with these new releases and new innovations is scale. SaltStack distributes as our primary enterprise product a system called SaltStack Enterprise. SaltStack Enterprise, one of its main features is that it can take multiple salt masters and merge them together and bring all their information together in a highly available, highly scalable way. We have customers that are using Salt to manage hundreds of thousands of systems. And these customers want to be able to know that they're going to be able to use our enterprise platform to manage that scale of systems. I've got a wonderful quote here from Zach Hilliard, Senior Director of SRE over at Sixtera, when he says, you can't wait for scale to be your catalyst for automating. If you're waiting for the scale monster will eat you. You have to be prepared from day one. I couldn't agree with this statement more. If you don't prepare thinking that when the enemy comes over the hill, that you'll prepare then, you will prepare too late. And Zach says it very nicely. It is important when building out an infrastructure, a project of really any kind, to consider the scalability of the choices which you make. And the scalability of the choices that you make are so often things that we overlook. And we end up making choices about software that just doesn't scale. And so many of our customers come to us once their infrastructures get to a few hundred or even a few thousand systems, and they say, hey, SaltStack can scale, and what we are using now cannot. And that includes virtually everyone that we compete with in the infrastructure automation space. And so I'm excited to announce that the SaltStack Enterprise 6.3 release is able to scale to unprecedented levels. We have been able to test the SaltStack Enterprise 6.3 release against quite literally 1 million minions. And I'm going to walk through a video of this test. Of course, we have a video because it costs a considerable amount of money. There's a fair amount of expense that we run into to be able to spin up literally 1 million minions. And so the scale problems that people are dealing with today are not going to go away. We have more and more and more customers and users who need to be able to manage hundreds of thousands of systems. We have yet to run into an organization that has asked us literally for 1 million minions. Although I know that there are a few installations out there that do use Salt that would like to see us get to this level. And so this is one of the reasons why I am very excited to announce it. Because when it's come up in the past, it's usually been just a joke. The assumption is, well, there's no way you're going to get to 1 million. But we have. That scale problem is not going away. And most important, we are still performant at 1 million minions. In this video that we are about to show you, you will see that there are a few cases where things are going to take a few more seconds than usual. But we are still, what I would argue, performant, given the fact that we are actively interfacing with 1 million minions and able to communicate with 1 million managed systems still in seconds. So how did we do this? We started by making our queuing and our messaging systems significantly more resilient, making them so that these systems are sending batches of data up through the pipelines and managing and processing those data in much more efficient ways. We created the multi-lane highway of batched payloads. The GUI improvements are significant so that we are able to make much better queries into the databases and gather just the right information for the right visual representation. And then we have also taken advantage of Postgres. For a long time, I must admit that I did not believe that we would be able to get Postgres to scale to our needs. But as you're about to see, our Postgres database is heavily optimized and is able to manage this level of load. And we're also very impressed with the Postgres 12 release series, as they've made these additions to Postgres, which make these things possible. And finally, we did a lot of work around task and queue separation so that long-running tasks and calculations can be executed in a much more efficient way. And so a huge amount of work went into this test that I'm about to show you. Now, the hardware that we're using is something else that I think is very impressive. The test that I'm about to show you has 120 salt masters. Attached to those salt masters is 8,500 minions per master. Each master is an M5 2X large on Amazon. Then we have, for all of this work, all of these minions coalescing into a single SaltStack Enterprise server. The SaltStack Enterprise system is made to be deployable like a web app so that it can have multiple servers that are doing the work. So it can be expressed with far more than one server. But in this case, we haven't needed to, which means that not only are we confident in this test of 1 million minions, we are confident in our ability to continue to scale and continue to grow. And so this SaltStack Enterprise server admittedly is a rather large instance on Amazon, but it is still just one system. And also, this demo is only showing one Postgres server. We, of course, fully support the ability to set up highly available and distributed Postgres clusters. But this demo is able to accomplish 1 million minions with one Postgres server. What we're looking at here is, frankly, the management of 1 million minions with 3 servers on top of 1 million managed systems. And so now I'm going to ask Kendall to take over the display, and we will talk through the video.
Yeah, here we go, Tom. So yeah, this is, as Tom said, this is raw footage recorded for the sake of, what it takes to set this system up. Tom, I'll also comment that I think you've ruined my ability to say 1 million minions without sounding like Dr. Evil, but it's pretty awesome. So
it's hard to say without saying 1 million.
So here we go.
All right. So as you can see, we have executed jobs against these, and we've got actually a little over 1 million minions. We're going to start by just doing a test.version call. This just asks all of the minions what version of Salt they're running. We execute that command, and we're going to hop over to the home here and take a quick look at just how many minions we really have. And yep, 1,012,821 minions. We come over, and there we go. Test.version has already executed successfully against 1,012,821 minions. And yeah, that was fast. We're able to actually, we were able to run that command against those minions in less time than it takes the UI to load. We now are able to go over and create another target. Inside of our enterprise platform, we are able to create targets so that we can address subsets of minions. And so what we do when we create this target is that we're saying that we want to deal with a subset of this over 1 million minions. And we can reliably go in, create a target, and with that target, then address a significant subset of the minions that we have. So that even though we are dealing with an inordinately massive array of systems that are being managed and targeted, we are able to then come and address one of these specific subsets. So as we can see, we're about to get quite a few minions, but only a subset, 7,550 of them. And we can run a command against that subset of minions. Salt is made to make it very, very easy for us to take even ridiculously sized infrastructures and execute commands against those infrastructures and gather information from large number of minions. As you can see, very, very quickly, it is already returned. The job is already complete, and 7,550 minions have come back and communicated with us. This is something I am just endlessly excited about. The fact that we are able to manage this level of minions and this level of total targeted devices.